Hi, this is Ryan, back with another video, and I wanted to ask, what would your life look like if you were just a bit healthier? Would you feel better, have more energy, get more work done, maybe be more present with others? Well, you can. So in this video, I'm excited to talk about how to improve your health and energy by just getting your eating, moving, and sleeping right. So let's get into it. My first point is that eating, moving, and sleeping are all connected as a concept. For example, when you eat a healthy breakfast, you're just gonna have more energy and feel better. You're gonna be more set up to be more active during the day. When you're active during the day, you're gonna be able to get a better night's sleep. All right, and then come full circle, when you're sleeping well, it just makes it that much easier the next day to eat well and move better. So the science says, in short, tackling all three at the same time actually increases your odds of success compared to just starting a diet or exercise program just by themselves. So yeah, in short, improving your eating, moving, and sleeping are even easier if you work on all three at the same time. So do that. That gets into my second point, eating right. I believe one of the easiest and most efficient ways of doing this is to upgrade your grocery shopping game. The reason I say this is because the choices we make at the grocery store are important because a large chunk of what we eat in a week, and once you put something in that cart, good or bad, it is going in your stomach. So probably the most foolproof way of doing this that I know of is making a grocery list before you go shopping. Roy Baumeister in the book Willpower would describe this as pre-committing. It makes it easier to make those decisions because you've already said, hey, I'm going to buy these healthier choices at the grocery store. I personally don't make a shopping list usually before I go shopping, but what I try to do is the second method, and that is shopping on a full stomach. Let me tell you, eating or buying junk food is a lot less tempting when you're going there on a full stomach and you already have an idea of what you're trying to buy for the week, and it just sets you up for the rest of the week when you can ignore those decisions that you know aren't the best for you. Lastly, you don't go on a full stomach, you don't make a list. Just, I would recommend if you have willpower to use in the week, use it at the grocery store. All right, it just sets you up when you eat healthy for the week. You just have a lot more energy to do the things that you want to do for the rest of the week. So, getting into a couple more suggestions about how to eat better, I'll say a good starting point is trying to minimize three main things in your diet, that being sugar, flour, and seed oils. When you look around the grocery store, start reading the back of nutrition labels, you'll realize that these things are in basically everything. Seed oils being, canola oil, soybean oil. You'll just find them all over the place. Sugar, I think we all know at a high level is bad for us, can lead to a whole host of problems when overconsumed. Flour does essentially the same thing, right? It spikes your blood sugar, it quickly gets turned into sugar in the body, and it's in a bunch of stuff too. Last thing is seed oils, which, they're called vegetable oils. A lot of people don't know too much about this, but the gist is that they are in basically every food you buy, right? Soybean oil and canola oil, palm oil, those kind of things. And the issue with that is it's a ton of the calories we eat. Something like 33% of our calories come from these seed oil, vegetable oils. And it disrupts the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio in our body, which basically means it can lead to just this low-grade chronic inflammation that is just not too good for your health. So some replacement for that could be olive oil, which is what I personally cook with. Next, on the good side of things, for eating, I would say to eat more whole foods. This being fresh fruits and veggies, whole grains, instead of processed things like white bread, nuts, beans, fish, eggs. Just try to buy the whole version of those foods rather than the refined foods or junk foods, processed foods that you find in the grocery store. That moves me on to my next point, which is getting more movement, moving more in the day. I'll say my number one tip again for doing this is just finding a type of exercise you like, because you're going to be a lot more likely to stick to it. There is a trillion things you can do for your health. You can weightlift, run, martial arts, rock climbing, swimming, hiking, yoga. You can look up a list. There's a trillion things, and surely one of those is going to be enjoyable for you. If it's enjoyable, you're going to be a lot more likely to stick to it. So I know people know they should exercise, but they don't really know why. They just think it's to be healthy. And to sum it up, one of the main benefits of exercising is that your brain just works better after exercise. All right. I'm not sure if you know this. I've read exercise can boost your mood for up to 12 hours. I think that's crazy. It's why I like to work out in the morning and feel better for the rest of the day. So as John Ratey tells us in the book Spark, exercise is like taking a little bit of Ritalin and a little bit of Prozac. Or in other words, it focuses your attention and boosts your mood at the same time. If that was a pill, if exercise wasn't in a pill, everybody in the world would be taking it. It's that good for you. Another way, which was actually the topic of my first video, is to sprinkle in walks throughout your day. So go for a walk during work breaks, right? After breakfast, after lunch, before dinner. There's all these spaces throughout the day that you can go for a walk and break it up. And it has a lot of the same benefits as just exercising, and you can get it all throughout the day, right? Reduce stress, increased, mood, increased focus. It's awesome for you. You'll feel better. I recommend it. And that leads me to my last of the three, sleeping better, and what I would argue is the most important out of all of these. So a lot of us, we don't really seem to get enough sleep. I'm definitely included in that group. But summarizing all the sleep science, all the sleep studies, we need kind of 7 hours minimum to just function at our baseline and show up for the day. You certainly can get through the day with a lot less than that. But if you're like me and have done that before, it's not an enjoyable experience. I personally really strongly believe that prioritizing 8 quality hours of sleep a night, I know that sounds like a lot, but if you can do that, that is the most important thing you can do for your well-being. And I say that because sleep is kind of like the driver of the whole show, right? When you get a good night's sleep, you're going to wake up the next day, you're going to be more likely to exercise, to eat better, to get more done at work, to treat, your family better, all these other things. You're basically just going to be a better version of yourself, all while feeling better at the same time. Is kind of magical the way getting a good night's sleep works. So that leads me to my last and final point, how to actually make and change all 3 of these points at the same time. And I highly, highly recommend and would almost say we require personal experiments to make these lifestyle changes happen. It's really important because a lot of these behavior change type things to improve our health, it's complicated. There's a lot of nuance, and cookie cutter advice on the internet is not going to help you with these nuances. Just to kind of give you an example, credit to Nest Labs for this one. I was reading this recently. Take, for example, you want to lose weight. All right, seems simple enough. Just reduce your calorie intake and increase your physical activity. Bada bing, bada boom, you lost weight. But it's not that simple because you're missing a lot of context, a lot of nuance that's specific to you that advice on the internet is not going to tell you. Some things like, what time of day do you start to crave sugar? What are the emotional triggers that make you turn to food as a coping mechanism in the first place, right? What are some recipes you can cook that you personally find tasty, right? So things like rigid meal plans and strict exercise routines, they just don't account for all of these small little human elements that are actually important to make the change possible. And in my opinion, the only way to really find the answers to these questions of what works for you is through personal experimentation. So, in summary, if you want to be healthier, work on improving your eating, moving, and sleeping at the same time. Upgrade your grocery shopping, eat whole foods, get enough movement throughout the day, and focus on getting longer and higher quality sleep. You'll be much better off having done that. To do all that, just do personal experiments, get curious, don't take it too seriously, and just adjust things as you go. And over time, you will find that you are living a healthier lifestyle. Easier said than done, but that's the idea. So why do we want to be healthy? Right? You're going to have more energy, you'll feel better, and you're just going to have the capacity to be a better version of yourself. All right, so now go and try to make your life better. Hi everyone, I made this video because I was inspired from the books I've read on health and my personal belief that there's a drastic lack of education on how to just generally be healthy. So I'll leave some of the books and resources that have helped me personally down in the description. I hope you got some use out of this. All right, thank you.